I know I like to start off with 362 horsepower, 406 pound-feet of torque. And the reason why is because that's an increase of 13 horsepower, 37 pound-feet of torque more, standard adaptive air suspension. This is freaking nuts. So all those specs, it's literally telling me that this was the replacement to the Porsche Macan. But why didn't Porsche come out with it? Why did they put it into an Audi? I'm Anthony from Hawkeye Rides, and Audi Clearwater has given us the 2026 Audi SQ5 Sportback in glacier white over black. You're getting a steal when it comes to the Audi line. I feel like Volkswagen just messes up every time they come out with updates for their vehicles. They make their other vehicles not as good. And I get it. The Macan is getting discontinued, but why make this better than that vehicle for less dough? It starts off with the digital LED headlights and daytime runnings, and it has this signature lighting, which is going to sit just behind the single frame Audi grille, which is slanted to give more of that athletic appearance. Satin aluminum is going to be surrounding it and also the inner part of that grille. The Audi O-rings, we have it where it illuminates. You can take the box of that. It's a few $100, might as well do it. Everybody's doing it. And that way it highlights the plastic in the front. The lower is going to get the satin aluminum. That's going to brush in with the matte black garnish, 8.2 inches of clearance with standard air suspension with 13 horsepower more, 37 pound-feet of torque more. And housed underneath the hood is a 3-liter TFSI turbocharged V6 producing 362 horsepower and 406 pound-feet of torque. That's paired to a 7-speed S-tronic dual-clutch automatic transmission with quattro or your all-wheel drive. The engine configuration is longitudinal. This engine mounting helps with the performance and the handling. Reaching 60 at 4.6 seconds with the top speed at 130 with all summer tires, maxing to 155 miles per hour. And this is what I mean by Volkswagen messing up, because the Porsche Macan S is getting the same 0 to 60 as this, and you're going to pay about $2,000 to $3,000 more. Plus, you have to add a chrono package in order to make it 0.2 seconds quicker than this vehicle. It would make no sense. You might as well go into the Prestige trim, get all the bells and whistles, and you're going to be the same speed. We have the 21-inch wheel package, 5-arm split design wheels, bicolor finish with the summer tires. The red brake calipers are housing a single floating caliper in the front and the rear with a 14.2-inch disc for the front, or 360 millimeters. That's vented. That's nearly an inch larger than the Q5. The rear is at 13 inches or 330 millimeters, which is the same exact size. 5-link independent with sport adaptive air suspension. And now going against competition like BMW and Mercedes, they're all going to be right at the same number, 0 to 60 and top speeds. So really what you need to put in the equation is which is going to drive better. Dynamically speaking, BMW is going to take the bins a little bit better than this. You do have a longitudinal engine, which helps distribute the power from the front to the rear, so it does help with the steering. The quattro system, though, is a little bit more heavy than BMW and Mercedes all-wheel drive systems. And now pair that with the standard air suspension, it's not going to drive like a boat, it's going to drive smooth, but when you're taking the bins, it's not going to be as crisp. And if you're concerned about the 2027 variant that's going to be coming out in just a few more months, well, you're going to get updates that's going to be in the interior, not really anything on the exterior, so you're taking care of there. And the rear was a huge improvement back for 2025 and a half. We have the LED tail lights with the dynamic turn signals and the animated feature, which is signature to Audi. More sleek lighting. The lower is not as chunky either. It looks more performance oriented with the quad exhaust tips that's exposed. You get the grille pattern in between the satin aluminum, front and rear parking sensors, more or less a diffuser. Top view camera, because this is the Premium Plus. I would say the best part about the SQ5 with the new generation that we got in 2025 and a half is that you're getting a lot more standard features. You just go up the trim. So the Premium Plus is the sweet spot. Power liftgate or kick to open, going into 25.4 cubic feet of storage. You get the privacy cover here. You can raise and lower the suspension in the rear, which I think is awesome. Bottle holders, little storage net with the 12-volt LED interior lights. Underneath the floor, you get a pretty good amount of storage, giving us a side-to-side right at 41 inches. Top to bottom, around 29 inches. So you're gonna lose a little bit because of the coupe design. A front to back at 39 inches. To max cargo to 53.3, just pull the levers, 60-40 split. Unfortunately, it's a new car, so I'll still have to come back here and do this. And that maxes the cargo from front to back at 69.5 inches, which is nearly 6 feet. We need to go inside and start this up so you can hear the exhaust note. Key fob to the SQ5. 12-way power seat adjustment, leather and Dinamica mixture, heated ventilated front seats. You get the S embossed with the quilted stitch, manual cushion extensions for the driver and passenger, memory for the driver. The premium package gives us the heads-up display, the Bang & Olufsen sound system, and the screen configurations is everywhere. So gloss black is a huge TV screen on wheels, and if you don't go to the top trim, you just get a plastic box here. Carbon interior components are going to be found throughout, so I do appreciate that. Leg space for the passenger at 6'3", I got 4.5 inches here, and on this side I have an additional 5 inches. I also like that they put the Dinamica on the dash. And even though it's a driver-focused setup, because we have manual cushion extensions, it definitely does a good job giving a lot more space for me to relax instead of having my knees just up in the air. Ambient lighting is going to surround that driver-focused setup with a ton of gloss black, a wireless charging pad. Let's fire it up. Auto-dimming rear view mirror with the home link. You get the compass. Dynamic LED lighting, a large panel moonroof, 14.5-inch informational display with wireless connectivity like Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Sirius XM, AM, FM, streaming, Bluetooth audio. You will have to do everything through here. That's the only con that comes into play. So for your climate control, you simply click onto your menu here, and then you get your comfort access there. Put it into reverse. Because we're in the Premium Plus, you get the 360-degree reverse camera or top view. You can expand this out more. You can also clean it, and it shows you how many inches you are away from the object. That is so cool. Driver mode select, you do have physical control, so I appreciate that, and it's pretty self-explanatory here. You still have a physical knob, USB ports, 12 volt, a rocker to put it into gear, and this is going to be a little bit more firm. It opens up into a smaller storage pocket. You get like a little pin holder there. This also can adjust. So whenever you just push onto here, you can just change the adjustments however you like. The steering wheel is going to have a flat top and flat bottom S badge. It's perforated on the sides, multi-function. For 2027, they're going to be changing this and giving us physical controls. Thank you, Audi, for doing that. I'm not saying I don't like these controls. It's a little bit slower in the interactions. 11.9-inch informational display that can go through an array of different content for the driver. And on this 11.9-inch cluster, you can literally see everything like you could see there. And some cool things, when you turn your indicators on, you can see it right there on the dash. And it's going to be on both sides. Leg space for the driver, I got 5.5 inches here, and I have an additional 5.5 inches here. Headroom is more than enough. Door panel and dash, they do a pretty darn good job with this dynamic styling for the interior, because it literally just wraps around, keeping it really sporty, keeping the Dinamica here and for the armrest, so it's actually nice and soft. One touch up and down for all your windows, and you have all your controls right here with a medium-sized storage pocket, and you get a little hidden pocket for the driver. Seats, this is the opening that you get with cup holders and armrests. You can adjust these seats forward and backwards, so that's what I've done there so you can see. You have your third climate control right here, 2 USB-C ports, air vents, a storage net behind both of the front seats. The door card, it would be nice if they gave you a sunshade at this price. The Dinamica comes into play, so it is going to be soft where it needs to be. A lot of plastic though, and at this price, I would even like this Bang & Olufsen sound system to have some aluminum mesh. You can let me know your thoughts on that. Storage pocket's pretty good. Sitting behind me in the driver's seat position, I would be sitting. The Dinamica seats really stick to you. You have about 1/2 inch carved out because of the way the seats are, giving us 2.5 inches there, an additional 2.5 to near 3 inches there. It's a coupe, so expect to lose some headroom. It's actually not as bad as it looks. My hair is against the headliner, and if I really needed to get, well, no. It's actually worse. Center seat, I'm against the back of the front seats. Feet, butt, leg, and shoulder space, I'm gonna be sharing it. Kind of wish that this bulged out just a touch, because they actually add the seat cushion right here, which that would give us at least 2 more inches of space. I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but we have about 20 inches from side to side. Maneuverability, steering is pretty light, so that makes it pretty easy for that day in and day out. Suspension is very smooth. We got upgraded 21-inch wheels, so keep that in mind. Sound deadening is awesome. I don't hear nothing. Take it up on the interstate so we can see some of the performance. And she is quick. Twin scroll turbocharged engines are very unique because you have 2 different scrolls in the turbo. Plus, this is housed within the V, where it's the hottest part of the engine. So it's just ready to spool up, which means you don't really feel a lot of lag. I mean, it's pretty instant for the most part. So you pair all that with a dual clutch 7-speed automatic transmission, and you're getting the recipe of an SQ5 Sportback. Seats are comfortable. It has the right amount of cushion in it. I would always opt for more power seat adjustments, but it does a good job at this price category. And now throw it into comfort afterwards, and that's what you're getting, a performance madhouse. Why is it better than Porsche? Because they discontinued the Macan. The Macan S was an awesome vehicle, and you're literally getting that here. The only cons that I will say is it is a TV screen on wheels. There is a lot of plastic in the interior, but everywhere it needs to be soft, it is. And with this suspension and with everything you're getting, it's really hard to complain saying that this is not hands down one of the best configured vehicles on the market. Better than the Porsche. I mean, let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Check out this next video right here.